In some rather unexpected footballing news, Aitor Karanka has resigned as Nottingham Forest manager, and the Nottingham Forest board have accepted his resignation. He'd been in charge a year. They're seventh in the playoff hunt in the Championship, so they're in the playoff places. They're in the hunt. They're having a decent season. Admittedly, they had an awkward spell around Christmas. A bit of a wobble. It happens. They fell out of the playoff places. It's not all doom and gloom. They're still in the playoff hunt. They're still in the battle. He was appointed last year after his time at Middlesbrough, and the positivity around the club when he was appointed was there for all to see. He spent big in the summer, and the club may not be the top club in the Championship so far this season, but they are in the playoff hunt. They're not out of contention yet. They are doing rather well, and this seems rather odd, but Nottingham Forest have had a massive managerial turnover since 2010, 2011, and the last time a manager completed a season was in 2011. So I think there's been 11 managerial changes in 9 years. They go through more than a manager a season. They have a high manager turnover, which is something I didn't realise until I looked into it. Is yes, they have had a lot of managers. They've only had, I think, one manager complete a season since 2010, 2011. That is insane. Aitor Karanka was well thought of by fans. I think the fans, for the most part, supported him. Really bizarre. Nottingham Forest is one of those clubs that's becoming bizarre. They're foreign owned. I think they have a Greek owner. Who's a colourful owner. They want to get back to the Premier League, but they've been out of the Premier League now for 20 years, a long time. This is not how you get back to the top division. You don't get back to the top division by hacking and changing the manager every few months. It does seem there has been a disagreement behind the scenes, most likely to do with transfer policy, no doubt, because he's gone during the transfer window, which is the weirdest time for a manager to walk away. It really is. There's 2 weeks left of the transfer window. It's really odd for a manager to go midway through the season, midway through the transfer window in January. Yeah, bye guys, I'm done. Obviously something has happened behind the scenes. There has been a disagreement. We've seen managers have disagreements over transfer policy and selection before. Antonio Conte at Chelsea, Mourinho at Man United. Could Karanka have gone down the same route with transfer policy at Nottingham Forest? It is quite possible. There could have been other issues as well behind the scenes, club direction, what the club expected to get out of this season. I think obviously what they tasked Aitor Karanka to do was to get them in the promotion fight or promotion within his contract, which I think was a 3-year contract. It still has 2 years left to run. It's really bizarre that he hasn't been fired. There hasn't been calls for him to quit. There hasn't been pressure on him. They had a wobble. They dropped out the playoff places. There was a bit of ooming and ahhing going, okay, they've hit a bad patch. How are they going to respond? They responded somewhat by getting back into the Championship playoff hunt. And he walks away. Really bizarre. I'm sure more will come out from the club or Karanka as time goes on as to why he has resigned and why he's felt it necessary to stand down. But it is believed there has been disagreements behind the scenes, away from the football pitch and away from the dugout and into the running of the club. But it is a very bizarre decision. The club are in a very strong position in the playoff hunt. They're not out of it. They're in a decent position in the league. They are playing reasonably well. Okay, yes, they lost a few games over the Christmas period and they've lost an FA Cup tie. This is what I'm reading. This is what I'm getting some kind of feedback from. They're not rock bottom of the Championship. They're not facing relegation. Their form hasn't completely dropped off a cliff where they've lost 7 in a row or something like that. They are still competitive, so I'm really surprised that Aitor Karanka has walked away. But there you go. If you are a Nottingham Forest fan, I want to hear from you, because this resignation makes no sense to me. None. And I'm a Blackburn fan, so I know what it's like to go through multiple managers in a season, let alone a manager per season in recent years. But this resignation is leaving me scratching my head, and I don't quite know the direction Forrest are going to take now. And what was ever happening behind the scenes, will we ever fully know? But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Like your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.